Eddie, one more question.
right,
Saquon Jones with the boxing voice.
Appreciate
When they said now that you might, Tank is in the picture for fight with Shakur if he wins. This is going to be, that would be the third time you work with PBC. And we've had an interview where you said that PBC, and I quote, is fucked when they were moving over to Prime Video. So are they still fucked, or?
I think they're a lot more fucked than they were.
Even though it should be potentially the third biggest fight.
I mean, fuck, I can't remember. You must have got me on a bad day.
Yeah.
But I think,
well, it was right over there with Devin, Haney, and
I think
Garcia's
that obviously when they left Fox, they left Showtime left. They're in a very difficult position. When you don't have a broadcast deal, it's not easy.
Okay.
Right, and Top Rank are in a similar position, right? I'm a bit more friendly these days, so I won't say fucked.
Okay.
I'll say difficult position.
All right.
So
are they still in
fucked.
that position, even though this is going to be the third fight that you potentially work with them, even with Tank and Shakur?
I think that in boxing, I think there's a lot of bridges that are being mended.
Okay.
And I feel like for a long time, myself and PBC, and myself and Golden Boy and Oscar, were like this. And listen, it's an emotional game, you know. I mean, Edgar Berlanga's down there, you know. I feel like I've done a great job for him.
Okay.
Right? But also, when you look at it, I think that I'm doing more and more business with PBC. And my relationship with Louis de Cubas is really helping that. So much so that Callum Smith against Benavidez is a fight that we're openly negotiating now. Coelho, if he wins on this card, fight Dalton Smith. Magasau against Hernandez, so many different fights. So, look, and again with Golden Boy as well. So, you know, I think times have changed, and I'm enjoying having better relationships with people. Maybe it's my age, just calming down a little bit, you know? Or maturing. I don't know. Yeah.
So, Eddie, how did you find one up in Queens? You know, for the Queens Chronicle. It's home of the World's Fair, by the way. 60th
I think it's a great idea. I mean, I've been looking at Wimbledon for a long time back in the UK. But this is, I think. Look, His Excellency wants to do groundbreaking events at groundbreaking places, and Times Square was one of those. But the problem is with Times Square, you can't get the people.
No.
And I said going into that fight for Ryan Garcia and those guys, it is difficult. It's not easy just to go and perform. You can hear Mike Tyson shouting out. You can hear Shakur, Richardson, Hitchens. And I feel like a lot of those performances that weren't very good, you still got, you know what to expect, but it definitely has an effect.
But this is the smaller stadium. You could have gone to Arthur Ashe.
That's all right. You know, step by step.
Fair enough.
Ryan talked about that. He talked about how the atmosphere kind of made him feel like it wasn't a normal fight. Do you agree with that, or you see that?
I said before, like, you know, we saw behind closed doors that kind of atmosphere definitely has an effect on performance. Right. But you know it's good. You know what to expect, and I just feel like, you know, I was actually quite not disappointed. I was quite upset that Ryan didn't perform, because I was really pleased for him that he turned his life around. Like, you know, to see him on that Devin Haney fight week, the difference between that and seeing him here on fight week, he looked great. Like, his face looked fresh again, great looking kid. And I was thinking, wow, he's back, and I didn't think we'd see him again. But then I just saw him, and I said in the talking about the event, I said, sometimes in that environment, the fight can pass you by. So what happens is you get 6 rounds in, you're behind. 8 rounds in, you're still behind. 10 rounds in, fuck, you've got 2 rounds to go. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair to Derek James, he was saying all the right things. It wasn't as if he wasn't saying, Ryan, fucking put, but he just couldn't do it. Was it the confidence? Was it, I don't know, like, was it the environment? Was it, you know, him and Rowley got a little bit of history, got hurt, and was it the second round? But it was a poor performance. That's the bottom line, and he's much better than that.
Is the Haney-Garcia fight still something that can happen?
I mean, look, that's up to His Excellency. I don't think that fight is anywhere. I mean, if both those guys look great on May 2nd, it's huge. But they didn't. I think they both need another fight. I mean, Shakur was right about Devin. I think Devin, you know, he's there to be criticised right now. So sometimes people are going to be a little bit harder than they should be. He did pretty much win every round, and he did hurt Ramirez a couple of times when he held his feet, but he just moved too quickly earlier. But he's also coming off a really rough night with a lot of things happened to him, and he's been out of the ring for a year. Devin's a brilliant talent, and he's going to be, I worry more for Ryan over Devin. Going into the fight, I was worried more for Devin, but even though Devin didn't look sensational, he'll get momentum now off the win, and I think he'll be better next time. Ryan's in a bit of a mess, really. He's got to come back, get a win. Maybe, I mean, he should be beat. I think he should be beating Roly, in my opinion, and I expected him to do so. You know?
What's the logical next step for Jerome?
So we are talking. We're in negotiations for Jerome to fight Teofimo, and it's a hell of a fight. And Jerome, you know, you heard His Excellency. He said it there. You know, and this is just the last 48 hours. So Jerome's been chilling out. You know, there is a date in August that we could be looking at in Saudi Arabia, but we weren't really expecting to fight in August, if I'm honest. You know, we was expecting to fight in September, October. We have a mandatory challenger in Shakram Girsov, who stepped aside for the Stanionis fight, but I believe there's a conversation to be had there. And I've got a call with Jerome and Everett and the team and Bozy in about an hour to see if that's something we want to do. I will say there is still the conversation about 47-54. You know, it is inevitable, the move. But I feel like the Teofimo fight is a great fight, and I think that's a great option for him. So, listen, I honestly think that I think that he's just too big and too good. But I rate Teofimo. But you know, when we did the weigh-in here, Teofimo stood on the scales about 6 hours, 8 hours into hydrating. He was about 146 pounds. Barboza was about 157. Right? I don't think he's a big 140, Teo. Wait till you see Boots on the night in there, hydrated, fit, healthy, and he's a hell of a fighter. Listen, it's a great fight for boxing, but I don't see anybody beating Boots Ennis. 147, 154, 160 right now.